I'd like to call the Smithfield Town Council meeting to order, Tuesday, July 15th, 2025, at 7 p.m. There were no votes taken in executive session. The prayer. Heavenly Father, as we gather together, we thank you for all the skills and talents you have given us and for everyone who is part of this team. Amen. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Emergency evacuation and health notification.
In the event there's emergency in the council chambers, there's two exits, one to the very rear. If you go out that exit, there's a stairwell to the right, brings you out to the front of the building. Second exit is to my right. That exit takes you to the side of the building. In the event of emergency, do not use the elevator. Excuse me, men's room and ladies' room. Ladies' room, rear exit to the left, and men's room, rear exit to the right.
Thank you. On to presentations, number 5, special recognition to Patrick P.J. Taylor, Elaine Taylor, Jerry Bell, Sandra Achille, and the Georgeville Beach Memorial. Will you please come to the podium?
Thanks, Aaron.
PJ, how are you?
Doing pretty good tonight.
Where's the rest of your group?
Unfortunately, I couldn't get here tonight.
That's it.
But I have Brian, and he's our guy.
You are the lone soldier.
What's going on.
All right. Well, PJ, on behalf of the
Found a lot of information.
town council, we wanted to give your group citations, and it reads like this. Smithfield Town Council and the town of Smithfield, Rhode Island, wish to extend their heartfelt recognition to Patrick P.J. Taylor for his dedication and organization of hosting an annual Georgeville Beach Memorial in honor of the memory of the people who have lost their lives in the Georgeville Pond.
Thank you, man.
So on behalf of the council, I want to thank you for all the work that you've done over there. It looks beautiful. And keep on going.
I will.
Keep on going. So congratulations.
Do we have time to tell you a little bit about what we found?
Well, yeah, of course, PJ.
He knows more about it a little bit. Just give you a quick read.
Yeah, but also, PJ, before we go any further, I mean, it's not just about the beach memorial. I mean, PJ, he shows up to a lot of things. He's a can-do. He's got the can-do attitude. Sometimes he just says, all right, it's got to be done. He just shows up and he gets it done. An example would be at the Smith Appleby house. Someone had dumped some trash and everything. PJ just drove over in his car, threw it in his back seat and got rid of it. I mean, that's can-do. Thanks, PJ.
I'll be very brief. PJ,
Can you state your name and your address, please?
James Ryan McNeilis, property interested owner of 9 Rosewood Drive. I'm no longer a resident there, though. I'm just a new guy, the volunteer in the Georgeville Beach Memorial. It's a great group of people. They are trying to investigate what the causes are of the drownings. And the only thing that I've told people is there's no one Loch Ness monster in that, like, pond. And I say that jokingly, but I'm actually kind of serious. It's not going to be Cold Springs. It's not going to be alcohol. It's going to be a combination of all those things. But they're generating a report. And I know he's passionate. He wants this to get told. But really today, it's just recognizing his efforts for the town and the community. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Not so fast.
Yeah. Item B, Conservation Commission, designation of Donald T. Burns and Donald C. Brown Commemorative Forest Reserve.
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Leach. I'm the chairperson of the Conservation Commission. I'd like to pass out to you a map of the area that we're proposing to be named in honor of Don and Dot. Okay. I want to thank the council for considering this item tonight. This is in honor of Donald T. Burns, who is still with us, and Donald Brown, who has passed. Both of these gentlemen have worked on behalf of the town for many years before I lived here. I do not know either of them well, but I do know that their combined service to the town is worthy of a designation in one of the areas that they were both instrumental in preserving for the town. So we selected an area of Connors Farm. It's bounded by one trail, the Green Trail and the Red Trail. It's about a 15-minute walk. I invite all of you to try it. It's not too difficult, very peaceful, very beautiful. And since I do know that both of them were shy individuals, I think this is a nice way to honor them without embarrassing them, I guess, is one way. So with that, again, I appreciate you taking the time tonight to consider honoring them in this way.
I have a question. Will you be putting signs up?
This map before you will be the actual sign at Connors Farm Trail, at the trailhead, which is on Connors Farm Drive. So it will just be a larger version. From the parking lot to where the area is about maybe a 5-minute walk. And ultimately, we would like to have maybe perhaps some benches for rest for walkers, but we're not there yet as far as besides just the sign at the entrance, what other item might be there to designate the area.
Any questions, sir?
So can I suggest that, why don't you work with Bob Kane and myself to at least put something in the area you want to designate for them, and we'll help you along with that.
Okay.
I also want to add, for those of you that don't know, Don Brown was a fire service advocate for many, many years. He was with the Georgiaville Fire Department, and then he was still on when it became the Smithfield Department. But one of the things that people don't know, because he just, he was proud of doing this, he was on the State Firefighters Relief Board, and he fought very hard to make sure all the widows of firefighters, both volunteer and career, that lost their life due to some type of occupational event that occurred, whether they were volunteer or career, that the widows got the widow benefit that the state provides. And he worked tirelessly for those people, and he never wanted any recognition for it. So I always admired that about him. That was great. So, but certainly we'd be happy to help at least get something out there initially so we can recognize both of the individuals that both in great service to the town.
Okay, that's much appreciated. Thank you.
And Don Brown, Don Burns, these are giants in the history of conservation in Smithfield. And, on their shoulders, unfortunately, Don Brown's no longer with us, are what we have today for both our Conservation Commission and our Land Trust. The things that they did, I've been to many council meetings before I became a councilman, and, anytime an issue came up involving conservation, they came up and they spoke about it, and they could give you the whole history, and they gave a perspective that just was so powerful and so knowledgeable. And I just think that a debt of gratitude is owed to them by every resident in this town, not only today's residents, but future residents. And I think the Conservation Commission, this is a great thing that you are doing, and the town really appreciates it. And also the land trust, this is a land trust trail as well.
Right. Barbara's here from the Land Trust. We both are, fully in awe of both of these gentlemen. And not so sure we'll be able to, even between the two of us, get to that 88-year service. But
So we have a couple of citations that I would like to give you, and I'll read them.
thank you.
The Smithfield Town Council and the Town of Smithfield, Rhode Island, wish to extend recognition to posthumously Donald Brown in honor of appreciation of his many years of service at Smithfield Conservation Commission, and designated a section of Connors Farm Conservation Area as the Donald T. Burns and the Donald C. Brown Forest Reserve. And then the other one is for Mr. Burns, in honor of his appreciation of many years of service to the Smithfield Conservation Commission, and designated a section of Connors Farm. So if I can present you with
Yes.
these, and you can give them to the right place at the
I
right
absolutely
time.
will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we gotta work on those, we gotta work on those orders when we can. Yeah. Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah. All of them.
Item number 6, minutes. Move the minutes of the June 3rd, 2025 executive session meeting held pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42465A-2, potential litigation to approve as recorded and sealed. I'll entertain a motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Item B, move the minutes of the June 3rd, 2025 open session meeting to be approved as recorded. I'll entertain a motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item C, move the minutes of the June 9th, 2025 open session meeting to be approved as recorded. I'll entertain a motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item D, move the minutes of the June 10th, 2025 work session meeting to be approved and recorded. I'll entertain a motion, excuse me.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Item E, move the minutes of the June 10th, 2025 open session meeting to be approved and recorded. I'll entertain a motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item F, move the minutes of June 10th, 2025 executive session meeting held to consider and discuss and act upon matters pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42465A-2, potential litigation to be approved as recorded and sealed. I'll entertain a motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item G, move the minutes of the June 17th executive session meeting held pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42465A-2, potential litigation in section 42465A, real estate potential acquisition and lease of real property in section 42465A-1, personnel interviews Stephen Bailey and Renee Blumenthal for possible appointment to the board or commission to discuss the employee disability pension to be approved as recorded. I'll entertain a motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item H, move the minutes of June 17, 2025, open session meeting to be approved and recorded. I'll entertain a motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item 7, consider, discuss, and act upon the following possible appointments and reappointments. Budget financial review, reappointment to the term expiring January of 2030.
Motion to reappoint Stephen Bailey?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item B, Conservation Commission reappointments 2, with the terms expiring in July of 2028.
Motion to reappoint to reappoint Raina Blumenthal and Mark Bushy.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item C, Water Supply Board Advisory Commission reappointments 2, with the terms expiring December of 2027.
Motion to reappoint Derek Tomka and Daniel Green.
I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item number 8, conduct a public hearing to consider and discuss act upon amendments to Chapter 60 of Code of Ordinance entitled Municipal Court to add Section D to Section 7 entitled Jurisdiction, sponsored by Councilwoman Vice President Angelica Bovis, and I'll open up the public hearing. Any questions on the public hearing?
Should I say a
Right,
few
explain
words on it?
Yeah.
This is just a motion to mimic the state enabling ordinance to allow us to take the first steps in exploring the creation of a municipal court in Smithfield. Or I guess a further creation already exists, but expanding the jurisdiction.
Thank you.
Will the town solicitor explain, like, what next steps there would be after this to create a...
You'd have to do it by ordinance. You'd have to enact an ordinance
Right, so there would be an additional
Additional
ordinance
steps.
required.
to address what type of
Right.
jurisdiction the municipal court would take up with respect to traffic violations. What type
Right.
of violations are they going to hear versus what type of violations are going to continue to go to the traffic tribunal?
I think it would amend a current ordinance that we have to include the traffic, right?
Right.
Yeah. Because we already have municipal court for the housing and animals, thank you.
And is this something that's going to get sent to the Budget and Financial Review Board for?
Right, so for some background, I was speaking to some people at the Traffic Tribunal and some other clerks of other municipalities that do have a municipal court. There seems to be a group of people within the state that educates other municipalities on how this goes, gives them options, talks about the software needed, policies and procedures, things like that. A lot of those individuals were not really willing to come to our town and talk to us and educate us until we had the ability to actually do it, which I think makes sense. So this is kind of just a formality to make sure we actually have the ability to create a municipal court. And then if we study it and, talk to those people and educate ourselves on what could be done and what can't be done, then we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, this was, when I was on the Financial Review Commission, I found the report here. It's dated November 4th, 2015. Of course, then, they recommended against it, but they had a lot of data in here. So I would think that we would send it back to them to give us an updated report and recommendation on the court and, updated data. Things change over
A decade.
a decade.
Yeah.
And so maybe it is feasible to do now. Maybe it would benefit the town financially. There were also, I see in here, security concerns. I'd like to have the police department weigh in to see what would be required. I would assume that would be here where the municipal court meets now, here at Town Hall. And what burdens, of course, would be added to the clerk's office, the town clerk, to see, because they would be scheduling, collecting fines, and see if, when it all adds up together, if it's going to be beneficial. So I'd like to formally request that the Budget and Financial Review Board kind of just do an update on this original report and see what they come up with.
Yes, Councilman, I completely agree. That's the plan. I already have had some talks with some members of that board, as well as the police chief. They're all aware this is coming down the pike, but I think some official studies would make sense. That data, like you said, is a decade old, extremely outdated, as well as some of the opinions in that board are pretty outdated. So I think getting a new study would make sense.
I'm going to close the public hearing. What's your pleasure, Councilwoman?
Motion to approve.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays, ayes have it. Item B, schedule a public hearing on the August 5th, 2025 to amend Section 9.3 of the Smithfield ordinance entitled Putnam Pike Esmond Street Planned Development District. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none?
Yeah.
All-
I noticed, and I've talked to the solicitor for the planning board about this, that this proposal contains an LMI component that brings it down to something like 10%, which is inconsistent with our inclusionary zoning, which is 33%. It's also inconsistent with comprehensive permitting, which is 25%. So I don't think that's appropriate. Also, I don't think there's enough explanation of the reasoning behind this. I know that there's a proposal for a medical building there, which I think would be a great idea. There's also 124 units, which I know was allowed in the original ordinance, but I'd like to know what they actually plan to do before,
Can I just interject something? This is only to schedule a public
I
hearing.
understand that. I don't like
And
to
then-
waste money on if I'm going to vote against it. That's
No,
all.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's just to schedule a public hearing. So thank you for that.
Mr. President, just a brief comment. I was watching the planning board meeting when they had this in front of them. The issues I have with this is, I know this, again, just scheduling a public hearing, but what really stood out to me was a couple things. Attorney Rocha, she stated that, and I quote, "We could do this, the project, without a zoning amendment. We could just come back at final." I understand she wouldn't be here tonight. It's not the public hearing, but why do we need to change our zoning if they could just do it? Sort of is wasting money on advertising as well. There is no concrete plan by the prospective buyer, no full engineering design, traffic studies, or answer on the wetlands issues, which the attorney said would dictate the number of units. Also residents, they really just don't want more development, so I'm not really in favor of hearing this either. I don't see the point. It was very vague and not enough information as well. So
That's okay. I mean, you obviously have your opinion, you can vote against it. So we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? Clerk, can you do a roll call?
Member Winfield,
Yes.
Vice President Bogus.
Yes.
Member Ioannati,
No.
Member Tarpey,
nay.
President Sisson.
Yes. The motion passes. Item C.
Mr. President, if I may, regarding this item, I mean, the whole point of this is to schedule a public hearing. The public should come here and comment themselves on what they think of this project.
I agree.
So that's why I voted yes on this, and I think it's important that the public comes here and speaks for themselves.
I agree. Thank you. Item C, conduct a public hearing to consider and discuss act upon approving a one-day special event license for Seven Cedars Farm for the Summer Haunted Hayride at 20 John Maury Road at the following dates: Saturday, July 26th, 6 to 11. All special event licenses in Seven Cedars Farms are subject to compliance with state regulations and local ordinances and proof of insurance. Clerk, is everything in order? I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Item D, conduct a public hearing and consider, discuss, and act approving 18 one-day special licenses for Seven Cedars Farm. Seven Cedars Farm is the haunted hayrides and non-scary hayrides, 20 John Maury Road, at the following dates: September 26th, September 27th, October 3rd, October 4, October 10, October 11, October 12, October 17th, October 18th, October 19th, October 24th, October 25th, October 26th, October 31st, and November 1st. Hours of operation are from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. In Seven Cedars Farm to hold the non-scary hayrides on the following dates: Wednesday, October 15th, Wednesday, October 22nd, and Wednesday, October 29th. Hours of operation are 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. All special events licensed for Seven Cedars Farm are subject to compliance with all state regulations, local ordinances, and proof of insurance. Clerk, is everything in order?
Just waiting on the proof of insurance.
Proof of insurance. So we'll pass it. Pass it, hold it, and when we get the insurance, we're ready to go. Mr. Hammond. Can you just lift that's it. So we're missing the proof of insurance. So when you can get us the proof of insurance,
Absolutely.
we can release it.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
Can I add something real quick?
Mr. Hammond?
No, this lady, you have to come up to the podium.
I'm John's neighbor, right across the street, 15 John Murray Road, Judy Howell. I just want to, the hayride's fine, just the lighting that bleeds into our house, that I had written you.
I was just going to mention that.
Okay, I just really don't want to bring it up every year.
Let me explain it if I may. I totally agree with Judy.
And we talk all the time about it, we just don't want, I don't want it to come up every year, because it's very unsettling when they're busy and the lights are bleeding into our home, and we have to call them, and we just don't shine it in our house.
My son has these large lights that you see on the sides of the highways, and not all sons follow what the advice the fathers give.
And he calls us to see if they're bothering us, but this happens every year. But anyway, go
Yeah,
ahead, speak.
I'll make a promise that the lights will not bother you or there'll be no lights.
Thank you. And the LED lights are fine.
Yeah,
Those are fine. The construction lights are not fine.
I know.
Okay, that's all. I just wanted to
Okay.
go on the record.
Which,
No, Mrs. Howard had reached out, and that's what I was going to say something.
What's that, Bob?
No, she had reached out to me, and yeah, if you could just keep an eye on the lighting. And I think the other thing is to make sure it's not blinding anybody coming up the road.
No, I totally agree with Judy, and that's the last thing we want, any
John, which son is it?
the youngest one, Seth.
Oh, tell Seth,
Yeah, right.
you know, we can not do this at all. So that's, we're holding a license now because of the insurance, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have while we're talking about it, we're not gonna have a light problem.
No, there's no.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second, all in favor? Aye.
What's the motion? Is the motion subject to an insurance certificate?
Correct.
Okay, all right, just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, folks.
no fighting. We have a motion, we have a second, all those in favor? Aye, nays, ayes have it. Item E, conduct a public hearing to consider and discuss the act upon approving a one-day special event license for the Recreation Department for the Community Night Out event at 1 William Hawkins Drive Trail on the following dates: Tuesday, August 19th from 4 to 9. All special event licenses subject to Smithfield Recreation Department are subject to compliance with all state regulations. Madam Clerk, everything in order? I'll entertain a motion. I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item number 9, consider discuss act approving a 2-day beer and wine license for Seven Cedars Farm at 20 John Murray Road, Saturday, August 16th, a family reunion, and Sunday, September 21st, a private function. All Class F 1-day beer license for Seven Cedars Farm is subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances, tip cards, and proof of insurance. Do we have the insurance on that one, too? No.
Missing that, and also need the tip cards.
Okay, so we need the tip card and the insurance proof. So I'll entertain a motion to accept it.
Motion to approve, subject to the provision of tip cards and proof of insurance.
I have a second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item B, consider, discuss, act upon approving an annual renewal of one bingo license as applied, subject to compliance of all state regulations, excuse me, and local ordinances. Old County Road School PTA will waive the fee. I'll entertain a motion. Everything in order? Lynn?
It is in order.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays, ayes have it. Item C, consider, discuss, and act approving a 1-day beer and wine license for Revive the Roots as follows. 2025 Donor Gala to be held Saturday, July 19th, 4:30 to 9 p.m. The party will take place at Revive the Roots at 10 Old Forge Road, 4:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. as applied, subject to all state regulations and ordinances. Lynn, is everything in order?
Everything's in order.
They have insurance?
As far as I know, yes, we have everything.
Okay.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item D, consider, discuss, the act upon approving a new particular license for Vet Crave LLC. Vet Crave, 375 Putnam Pike, Unit 25 is applied by subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances. Final approval, Rhode Island Department of Health, and certify the occupancy for the building and zoning office. Everything in order, Lynn?
Still missing those two items, the Department of Health and the CO from the building office.
Okay, so that'll be subject to maintaining those two. Yeah,
Pending.
okay, yeah.
You make that motion? Okay. So moved, pending final approval from Department of Health and zoning and building.
We have a second? Any more discussion?
Yeah, do we know what this, is this a restaurant? I don't know if anyone's here.
No.
They are. I would love to hear what it is, because I love that kind of food, so.
This is your chance for free advertising, so.
Please state your name and your address, please.
My name is David Tran. This is my wife, Christina Nguyen. We're gonna open a restaurant, Vietnamese restaurant, in Smithfield. We gotta have dining, approximately around 25 to 30 people. It's small. We have our food like egg roll, spring roll, pho, noodles, and also we have a boba, a smoothie, and the type of drinks also. So that's gonna be our restaurant.
Did you bring any tonight? No.
Yes. I hope you get one day you can try my restaurant when we open.
Great. We wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming out.
So we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item E, consider, discuss, act upon approving a one-day beer license for St. Philip's for Sip the Sunset Summer Social on Friday, July 25th, 6 p.m. to sunset at St. Philip's Church at 622 Putnam Pike.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays, ayes have it. Item F, consider, discuss approving a new particular-only license for Jupiter Hospitality LLC, Holiday Inn, Express and Suites, 1010 Douglas Pike, as applied, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances for final approval in Rhode Island Department of Health. Lynn, do we have everything?
Still waiting on the final approval from the Department of Health.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I had a question. Do we know what this is?
Yeah, it's a change of ownership.
Oh, that's what, it's not a
Nothing else is-
restaurant or anything?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to approve, subject to Department of Health.
Have a second? Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm actually the new owner of Holiday Inn Express. So I just wanted to introduce myself to you guys. My name is Sabina Brisby. I live in New Hampshire, and I have a hotel out in Worcester, and this is our second acquisition, and we moved from Minnesota. So I'm really happy to see the council here, and it makes me feel really good that it's small enough that we can approach people if we have business issues. And I think I spoke to Bob.
Yes.
Yes, I did. I don't know what else is pending. I think I had submitted everything.
It's actually just the final approval from the Rhode Island Department of Health, which is gonna be that last piece.
Okay,
And once we get, they'll fax that over for us, and that will suffice as the signature.
okay. So we should be all good to go at
Yeah,
that
once we
point.
get that, we can let you know, you can come in and pick up the license.
Perfect. Any questions?
Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you
Welcome
so
to
much.
Smithfield.
I'm really excited.
Good.
I'm really excited. Thank you
Good.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, ayes have it. Item G, consider, discuss, act upon approving an annual renewal of one pool table license as applies, subject to compliance with all state regulations and local ordinances for Bryant University Fisher Student Center, 1150 Douglas Pike. One pool table. Lynn, we have everything? We have everything. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye, nays, ayes have it. Item 10, old business. Consider, discuss, act upon authorizing requests for proposals to furnish and install electronic messaging board at Smithfield High School on behalf of the Smithfield School Department.
Good evening.
Welcome, Angelo.
Thank you.
And on behalf of the council, we are so sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much for your words. We're here this evening to request to go out for advertisement for an RFP for an electronic messaging board, which would be located at Boyle Field. Location would be approximately in the same area where the original non-messaging board was located. We had gone out for bid for this item before. It came in a little high, but with the support of the school committee, we're hoping to go out again. And if the funds will be available, we'd like to move forward with this project.
Angelo, there was a couple of questions about this. Who's paying for this? I think one of the senior graduating classes left some money for it, but it wasn't enough for full expense of the sign. Where is the rest of the money coming from?
First, we're going out to bid again, so we hope it comes in at, we know nothing ever goes down. So I'll let.
It's just a question that came up.
I'll let Mr. Iatelli answer that.
Rich Gianatelli, 99 Dean Avenue. One of the classes, it was the COVID class, left us a good size amount of money. That will go towards it, and seeing whatever we see comes in, we will either take that out of our fund balance. There had been a talk, one of the school committee members wanted to put a sign on it to bring in some revenue. So
Okay.
that's it, but it'll get paid for.
Chair, I'm unclear. The school committee has since received additional funds. Well, can you explain what that means?
Say that again? I'm sorry.
It says on this memo to us, the school committee has since received additional funds, and that is after the paragraph explaining the 15,000. So I don't know what that means.
You and me.
Okay.
Well, if you don't know what it means,
That's
we don't know what it
fine.
means. We'll save it for the next meeting.
But the point is that we will take it out of our fund balance if necessary. There's funds to pay for the thing.
Well, do you know what you're anticipating for what the sign's going to cost?
I'm going to guess between 20 and 25, but that's just a guess. I'm not
Yeah,
an expert.
you're off. I just priced one out.
Okay.
It's almost 50.
Okay. Well, we will.
So,
That's one of the reasons we want the RFP to see what
Okay.
we're dealing with here.
yeah.
It's just an RFP.
Yeah, it's just an RFP,
Let's
but
see what.
that's
No,
going to be.
you're right to ask that question first.
Chief, would you be able to ask Mr. Santos, just since this memo came from him, what he means by that? Since received additional funds? Second paragraph.
I know I read that, but he would only put in here what was sent over from,
Just would like clarification on that.
I don't know who gave him the information, I'm assuming Dawn did? When Carlos wrote this up?
We don't have to know now, but I would like to know what that means.
I can get that answer for you.
Thank you,
Right,
Angela.
but right now, we just want to go out to advertise and see what the number comes in at. Thank you.
Well, it's very nice of you to take the money out of your pocket. I'll entertain a motion. Go out to RFP.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays, ayes have it. Item number 11, consider, discuss, act upon and authorizing a bid for the Microsoft Office 365 integration program.
Evening, Council. Dave DeShano with the IT Department. This is the RFP that got approved back in May. We received 13 proposals for it. We put together a selection committee, looked over all the proposals, and we selected Uplink IT. We are here to seek your approval, here to answer any questions.
Any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays, ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item B, consider, discuss, act upon authorizing a memorandum of agreement, MOA, modified and collective bargaining agreement for the period of July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2026, between the town of Smithfield and Smithfield Lodge, number 17 FOP, regarding the body-worn cameras. I'll entertain a motion. Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Item C, consider discuss the act upon approving an alternative project one for the Rhode Island Department of Education, School Building Authority Health and Safety Emergency Projects for reconstruction of the wall between the ISE room and the greenhouse at the Smithfield High School at the cost not to exceed $60,000.00 on behalf of the school department.
Good evening.
Good
I'm
evening.
Patrick Grobler with Colliers Project Leaders, the OPM for the two emergency projects and the Stage 1 and Stage 2 submission for the Ride Public School Department. So I'm passing around right now a revision to what is in front of you. And this one's a fun one because we're actually asking for less money than what is in the original proposal. So for alternate number one, basically we determined that there was a cost-saving measure that could be utilized in using the DPW, or in using DPW to do the demolition of the greenhouse and the slab outside of the ISE room. So that way they would have a free path of egress, or not egress, but a free path of access to the courtyard. In doing budgetary pricing for both the exterior wall, which obviously needs to be created, it is currently an interior wall, so it needs to be weather tight, and also the ADA ramp and the pad or modifying the existing slab outside, we determined that the funds that would be needed to tackle both just probably are not there. And then in addition to that, we have some material concerns about material types that we ran into kind of last minute. So we're basically tabling that. That's going to have to be a separate project for the school at a later date. And we are just pursuing the demolition of the current wall that is between the ISE rooms and the greenhouse, and the construction of an exterior wall as specified in Red Oak's budgetary proposal that was provided. They've put together a budgetary proposal that is probably a little bit above where the cost will come in at. And then SLAM also put together a cost proposal for the cost to design, and then contract administer that process. So we're actually amending that requested motion to a not to exceed amount of $40,000. As of right now, with the budgetary price from Red Oak at $36,000 and the proposal price from SLAM at $3,910, we come in at $39,910. So we're under $40,000. That is, I think, the majority of what I have for that, so I'll take any questions.
So here's a question I have. For having the town workers do the demolition, as you just indicated.
You're saying how or?
No. You just said that the town workers were going to do that. That's not going to cause a problem with prevailing wage folks that are working there?
So the way that this is actually going to work now is that the project is going to be done by the time that DPW comes in to do the demo. So we're going to build the wall while the structure is still there because it doesn't actually touch anything that we're looking to replace. And then the greenhouse can come down at a later date once Smithfield Public Schools figures out kind of how they want to approach that particular access and ADA accessibility issue.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure there was no grievances filed and then we had to deal with something else.
No.
Okay.
We're not dealing with a union shop in this particular case. We are dealing with prevailing wage. So
Right.
that's the only consideration there.
Any questions?
Just briefly, I just want to confirm, this also has to be done before the beginning of the next school year, correct? That's a part of
The
that same
wall
project?
replacement, yes, and it
Okay,
will
that's
be.
realistic timeline, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll also thank you to DPW for offering to do that work, or I think being strong-armed into doing that work by us to save the taxpayers a little money.
So originally, were we going to just leave the greenhouse there?
No, originally the $40,000 in alternate number one was to demolish the greenhouse and the slab below. So it was just
We're going to have no wall?
So we were hoping that the wall on the exterior was going to be sufficient enough, and this kind of came up as a last-minute ad when we went out for the RFP. And so since then, we've actually had a lot of time to really get in there and see what's going on as the demo and construction has been happening in the IC room. So our assessment is that it wouldn't really hold up. The slab outside for the greenhouse is not sloped away from the building. It was poured contiguously with the rest of the building slab and has a drain in it. And so that would leave standing water or some amount of water encouraged into the building and would take an old wall that was really not meant for exterior weathering or UV weathering and would put a lot of strain on it and probably cause issues.
So the 40,000 for the demolition has now been shifted, DPW is going to pay for that, so
Correct.
and that money has been shifted
So there's-
over to the wall.
Yeah, so,
Right.
so in this piece here for alternate one, there's two items that kind of need to be addressed. One is the reallocation of these funds, right? Originally, that $40,000 was reserved for alternate one, which is a specific scope of work, the demolition of the greenhouses. So once we get that through, then it's also the approval of a not-to-exceed amount of $40,000, again, utilizing the same amount that was for alternate one for the revised scope of work, which is the replacement of that exterior wall.
Are you able to give us a number as far as the difference in price for a metal ramp versus a concrete ramp?
So looking at a concrete ramp, I don't have a quote for it because we just knew it was going to be over. We didn't even really run down that road. In order to get concrete into that space of the building and pour it in compliance, we would need a crane I cannot think of the word, but a pump truck. And so we'd have to actually pump it over the building and then into this little area where the ramp would be. And so we looked into pressure-treated lumber. We also looked into Trex material. And both of those, Trex material was the direction that we were heading. And then in checking with the fire captain, he basically said that because it's a combustible type material, even though it's on the inside of the courtyard, it still creates a potential hazard and/or target for vandalism.
So you're leaning towards what material?
So at this time, that was why we backed it out, was we said, really, to do this the right way, you probably want to do concrete, but you don't want to see that number at a prevailing wage.
So I'm sorry, you're doing concrete, you're not doing concrete?
No, so the ramp is not part of this anymore.
Oh, I see, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for explaining.
No worries.
My apologies.
No worries.
I entertain a motion. Oh, hang on.
So
How did I know?
Thank you. Tom Hodgkins, 200 Farnham Pike. So just so I start off clear, what's proposed is a new scope of work at an additional cost of what was going to be $60,000, which is now going to be $40,000, correct? And the demolition is now going to be at the taxpayer's expense by way of the Public Works Department rather than included in this bid. So the original scope, from what I've heard, included taking down a greenhouse, but did not include making that wall weatherproof to be an exterior wall. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's shaking his head, yeah.
Was that an intentionally left out of the scope?
No. It was an omission, an inadvertent omission. So because we identified that late in the game and going out for the RFP, we threw it in there to make sure that we got a price to lock in for an alternate. And in looking at it kind of after the fact, we went, this is probably going to be problematic. And so then in talking through that issue and talking with the contractor and talking with the school, we identified that the wall was really the more important piece here. And then I don't know where the original idea came from for DPW to do the demolition, but that was not a Colliers generated idea. I don't know that we would propose to do something like that.
Okay, and when did Colliers first become aware of this omission from the scope?
I don't have the exact date for you, but it was shortly after the bid was awarded to Red Oak, and we got in there and we were walking the space with them.
Thank you. when this was presented to the council for the acceptance of the bid, it was proposed at the base cost with the two alternate costs with that, correct? And at that
Yeah.
meeting,
If I remember, we only approved the base cost. We didn't approve the two alternates.
right, and it was at a cost of 40,000, correct? Well,
Yeah, it was,
we know
it
that,
was
right.
40,000 originally, right, but we didn't approve any of the alternates
Plus
at that
28.
time.
Right. And when that was presented to the council was not told that there would be additional costs to this contract coming, correct? It was told that would be an all-in price.
Now, they,
I specifically remember saying, if there is a change order, to come back to us, because the original motion proposed by the school department was something to the effect of, if there's a change order, they don't need to come back to us. I think all of us unanimously voted that we would like to be informed of those change orders, and if there is one, to come back, which is these two. So these were not contemplated until today.
Well, they were in the bid, so the $40,000 to remove the greenhouse was part of the bid for $40,000, correct? And what the council was told at the last meeting was, if you had approved that, that there would not be any additional costs beyond that for the greenhouse. That's what was in the bid. So it's interesting to know when this issue about the missing scope came up. On May 5th of 2025, there was an addendum from the town, Addendum 4, for an ad alternate to remove existing greenhouse structure in its entirety and to patch existing exterior wall to match surrounding school. That was before the bid was submitted. Also that day, there was another memo from the town, May 5th, 2025, Addendum number 5, for an extension on the bid due date. There was a question on the bid, Addendum number 4 requests a project alternate for removal of the courtyard. And there's an answer which states, lays out the removal of the courtyard, and then it says, replacement of greenhouse door and wall at building to be priced after bid is awarded if alternate 1 is accepted. So this omission from the bid was identified and known back on May 5th prior to when the bids were submitted. And when this was presented to the council was not told that, well, if you approve the 40,000 for change for alternate 1 for the removal of the greenhouse, that they'd then be coming back again for the greenhouse door and the replacement of the wall, which is what they're coming back for tonight. So why was the council not told that when they were presented with the bid and the alternate 1? Why are these costs just coming to light now? Or at least bring back to the council now. They were known back for the folks that were looking at this back on May 5th. I had a question about the memo as well that the council had in regards to this motion. It states the school building committee and the school committee evaluated the proposal and have recommended accepting the proposal. And the subject is Smithfield School Building Committee and the Smithfield School Committee request to exercise a change order with this description. When was this approved or discussed by the school committee?
That's Richard.
The proposals that tonight will be at our meeting on Thursday, next Thursday, has not been approved by the school committee yet. As you know, these are the emergency provisions, both of these projects, and that's the tight schedule we're working on. So that, bringing it to you, and this is, a lot of these things have not all been in a neat order. School committee will be discussing it.
Can I say something respectfully? You know, I totally get what you're saying, Tom. This memo should not say the school committee evaluated, recommending accepting a proposal if it hasn't gone before them yet. I mean, it's as simple as that. So I would agree with you. So, I mean.
And my, same thing for the building committee. I don't think the building committee has looked at this either. They haven't voted on this proposal.
And I would like to know if those votes were unanimous.
That was addressed by the building committee.
Well, I'd like to speak to that. So what was on the agenda, for the building committee on the June 11th meeting. There's 6 pages of minutes here. The only mention in the minutes of this proposal is that Colliers stated the quote for demo and hauling the structure away was very good and includes removal of the glass, wood to secure the building, and filling all holes. According to the minutes, there was no discussion at that meeting of a change in cost or a change in scope of work. And what's proposed tonight is both a change in the scope of work as well as a change in cost and the reallocation and on the taxpayer of this removal of the greenhouse. So that wasn't what was approved or even discussed by the building committee, at least according to the minutes. I wasn't at the meeting, but according to the minutes, that's not what was discussed by the building committee either. I'll wrap up. I didn't see in what you have either a budget proposal of the cost as to how either the 60,000 or the 40,000 came about. It's just a number with no breakdown. But, you know, we've talked about these capital projects before. I'd ask the council to consider the following, and I'm not going to wait for an answer here, but just consider this. Is this a transparent way to conduct capital projects? I know you've also been given something tonight. That wasn't in the public packet. Nobody in the public has had a chance to review that. Is this a financially responsible way to undertake projects like this, where we get involved in project without knowing the final cost? This is a recurring issue. Happened with the Boyle project, the $1 million bathroom stand, the elementary school. We keep doing it. Is that a financially responsible way to do capital projects? And finally, does doing projects like this, with costs, without giving price breakdowns, change orders, is that achieving the best result for the taxpayers and for the school users who will use these facilities? Thank you.
To address a couple of the items, he's dealing with the June 11th meeting. We've had a couple meetings since that time, the school building committee now, and the school building committee did take up this thing. In fact, the school building committee on July 7th addressed it and told Colliers to come back with these figures. Okay. We had a school building committee meeting scheduled for this past Monday, yesterday. Unfortunately, it was not advertised properly, so we did not actually have a meeting. What we did have were 4 members of the committee discuss things with Colliers. So we got a briefing as to what was going on. And that's where we stand right here. It is not a change order. It is an add-all. Was put in on the original bids. There is no change in the dollar amount. That's also incorrect. The original add-all was $40,000. This is $40,000. Okay? What is a change is the scope of the work. And yes, the scope of the work has changed. They thought maybe that they would be able to have that wall be sufficient. It is not going to be sufficient after looking at it. And I think there's also possibly some adjustment as to what has to be done with the door that's going outside. Okay? But that is, it just is changes the scope, and it still will be $40,000. The motion that you have is $60,000, because originally, when the school building committee discussed this with Colliers, we were looking at to see if we could put a ramp in there. So what you have in front of you for your motion says $60,000. As he's already told you, got back down to 40 because the ramp is not in this picture. The ramp will have to be taken care of at another time. The ramp was never something that had been put together on any of the adults or anything.
I have one question. When are you guys voting on this?
Which one?
This? Because you said that you haven't voted on it yet.
The school building committee we're hopefully going to have a meeting on Monday, as in this upcoming Monday, the 21st, where we will go over exactly what was presented yesterday, and then they will go forward with it. But it's basically what was discussed at prior meetings. The only thing that was missing from prior meetings was what would be the cost.
And what about the school committee? The school committee need to
The
vote on
school
that?
committee will take it at our next meeting. Yeah.
When is that?
The next meeting is next Thursday night.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If we were to vote today, pending the outcome of the school committee vote, which is next Thursday, is that going to throw a monkey wrench in your planning?
I don't believe so. I think that we will still have time.
Because it seems to me that this is backwards. That they didn't vote, the building committee didn't have a meeting in order to get it. So we're like the last cog in the wheel. And I don't feel comfortable, I don't know about the rest of the members, that they haven't voted yet. We can do the vote tonight and say pending the outcome of the school committee vote. And it's not going to throw any cog in any wheel, correct?
That is my understanding at this time, yes.
Okay, all right.
Mr. President, I'm going to move that we table this item until the August 5th meeting, since the school committee, neither the school committee nor the school building committee have voted on this.
But hang on one
The school
second.
building committee did review this project with Colliers. We went through this whole thing, and unfortunately, there wasn't a meeting Monday. But we went through the whole thing. We even told them, go out, get the price, get this figured out, and we were all in agreement on what to do. And actually, at that meeting, Gene already said DPW would take down the greenhouse. So everything was lined up, ready to go. We got a deadline. These kids are coming back to school. We got some CO issues. The building official is going to require that wall to be squared away properly, and we're running out of time. So that's the only thing I'm going to caution you about. If the school committee says no, then it doesn't get done. But I think, and Councilwoman Bovis was there, and I think we came up with a really good plan to get this done, and we reduced the cost of that ramp significantly, especially going with an aluminum ramp. Saved a lot, probably saved $20,000, $30,000. So, you know, we're working under a situation that's not normal. It's an emergency under RIDE's guidelines. We're following all their guidelines, and we're just running out of time. And unfortunately, this is the situation we're up against right now. And if we delay it too long, we're going to be way off schedule. So I'm just going to let you know it was discussed with the building committee.
So with Councilman Ionati's request, is the August 5th meeting too late?
I think that we would be very pressed for time. Ultimately, the contractor and his ability to be able to leverage his labor force, because he does have in-house carpenters, would dictate the timeline. And so whether he would be able to meet that timeline or would be able to meet that timeline with an additional add for overtime work or whatever might be needed for that it's possible. I've seen scopes of work like this done very, very rapidly. But that comes at a cost, and it's not a guarantee. And so the risk that you potentially run is that there is some sort of building official issue, or you start a school year with an exterior wall that has a greenhouse outside of it that you still have to address later on, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but it also wouldn't give you 35%.
No, I mean, if we're going to get it done, we need to get it done. I mean, Councilman, are you okay with voting and pending approval on the school committee, or did you want to make a motion to do something different?
Well, I'll withdraw my motion.
You what, please?
But I'll withdraw my motion, but I want to state that I appreciate all the work that's been done to save money on this project. I really do. But I think in the future, the school committee has to vote on any project before it comes before the town council.
I would agree with that. And
Go ahead,
apologies,
Councilman. No,
Councilman.
absolutely not. You go right ahead.
Again, the issue I have is there's a blatant untruth in this memo. And this is not the first, I don't know who wrote this, but whoever wrote this needs to, get the facts or whatnot. We're representing the taxpayers, and we're being told that, this has been recommended and referred. And it's not. And this is not the first department that has done this. I've seen this in the past, and I cannot keep voting for this. This is, no one's saying, we don't recognize the hard work, that you don't have enough time and this and that. We know it has to get done, but I mean, this is a serious matter with taxpayer, so, I don't understand. And I will not vote for this again if there is something wrong like that, a blatant, that is not a typo. I'm sorry, I'm being very harsh, but I have to be harsh, on behalf of who I'm representing here. And I will be just as harsh with other departments as well. So just keep that in mind. So I agree with Michael.
This is both the town and the school department's first shot with an emergency procedure from RIDE. It's never been done before. okay? They give us a definite set of guidelines. We have to have substantial completion done by, I believe, the 15th of August. So that's what puts the fifth problematic there. And the order, now, one of the things we were told when you did not accept our, the original ad alt, was that you'd hold a special meeting. You didn't hold a special meeting. Now, I can see if I can get a hold of it together, if I can get school committee members together, but I have full confidence that the school committee is going to approve this. And I believe, since we talked it at the building committee, they were the ones who sent these plans up. They were the ones who set the OPM saying, go do this. The only thing they had, the only question they had that night was, what's the cost? Which he's now come back to us on, but not the scope of work.
Thank you. Councilman?
Mr. President, if I may, I just want to say, because I was present at the tour for these classrooms, these ISC classrooms at the high school, a couple members of the school committee were there as well. I don't think council members were there, but I know there were photos circulated, so I'm sure everybody's seen those photos. I think this is a good project. This wall is a good project. It's an interior wall turning into an exterior wall. The door is not ADA compliant, and it's in a room housing students who have special needs and disabilities. So it's an absolutely important project to be done, and I think it makes sense to be done this school year while this room is being worked on in this emergency fashion. I also fear that if it's continued to the August meeting, we're going to run into reimbursement issues, which will actually be a further cost to the taxpayers because we're losing out on that 35%, correct me if I'm wrong? 35% reimbursement on that money. As for the transparency, besides the fact that we were all able to tour this building, the school building committee, which I did attend, and I know the minutes aren't available yet, but this was discussed pretty heavily in the school building committee. So I do feel like this is a pretty transparent way to go about things. I too am frustrated with the fact that it's pressed for time, and there's, typos on this memo is not acceptable. I agree with that, but I think given the circumstances that I've personally seen, it makes sense to approve this subject to the school committee approving this, and I would make a motion to that effect.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second?
Can we just redo the motion, because I think we did the motion
Oh,
at
yeah.
60,000.
You're right.
It should be 40.
So in the handout that I gave you there, if you flip to the second page, there's a recommended motion that has the one line item removed regarding the ramp, and has the number changed from 60 to 40,000.
Councilman, there was no money in the motion. No, no, yeah. So I have a motion, we have a second. Any more discussion?
I would just like to say that, I'll vote for this now because I think it's extremely important, and I think that the points made by the Council Vice President Bovis are valid. But this is the second time within the last few months that, the council, I think, has been misled about whether or not the school committee has voted on something, and this really has to stop. We have to get accurate information here, as Councilwoman Toppy indicated, because we have a responsibility to vote our votes based on accurate information.
I just quickly, I would agree with that. There needs to be tighter oversight on the facts being presented to us, and this constant last-minute thing, the gun's always at our heads. I can't keep doing that. And it's not fair to ask the council members to keep doing that every single time.
All right,
But I will vote for it.
I'm sorry. So there's a motion on the floor. You have a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Item D, discuss act upon approving alternative project number 2 for the Rhode Island Department of Education Building Authority Health and Safety Emergency Projects to replace existing flooring in the new ISE room at the cost not to exceed $28,000 on behalf of the school committee. Sir?
So this one is very straightforward. It is exactly what the alternate number 2 was, as it was placed in the RFP, and we are just activating that item.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Any
Is
discussion?
this the same
The ISE room.
situation where the school committee really hasn't approved it yet?
No, we did. This
You
is the
did approve
exact
this
same
one.
thing you got at the meeting where you did not vote on it. Exact same.
So the school committee has approved this?
School committee has, you had your chance to look at it before, now you're looking at it a second time. So we have voted on this.
And the building committee?
Building committee voted on it before school committee.
Thank you, Richard.
Yes.
Any more discussion?
I will just add, Council President, I think this is another necessary project while we're in that room. The whole room will be brand new, the floors look atrocious, it doesn't make sense. So for this price, I think it makes sense to get the floors and just get a nice state-of-the-art ISE room for the special needs kids.
So the motion and the second, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Nays, ayes have it. Item E. Thank you. Consider, discuss, and act upon authorizing the town manager to enter into contract amended with Rose Consulting, grant administrator, in writing for the amount to exceed $4,800 per month fiscal year '26 and $5,000 per month in fiscal 2027.
Good evening, President, Vice President, Town Council members, Chief Seltzer, and members of the community. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you this evening.
Can you state your name, please?
Lisa Marie Andoja.
Thank you.
I've had the privilege of serving the town of Smithfield as your grant writer for the last 2 years. Under the former town manager, Randy Rossi, who was very aggressive in pursuing funding for water main interconnections, for economic development, for splash pads. I believe everyone has received a summary of the grants received for the past 2 years. And before even being appointed as the town manager, I can share with you, Chief Seltzer hit the ground running, and he shared with me one of the many priorities for this town is community resilience. And the fire department received 2 grants, one for $1 million for a new fire department and a second one for $550,000. And he shared with me that maintaining public safety during extreme weather conditions is crucial for climate change. And so I'm really proud of that grant opportunity. And during that time, we've worked to secure other grants to support initiatives for infrastructure, splash pad, and economic development. The grant funds are new revenue. It actually brings outside investment to Smithfield without taxpayer dollars. I want to reaffirm my strong commitment to identifying new revenue opportunities and helping the town strategically pursue and align priorities with long-term plans. My continued work can help ensure the town is well-positioned to access these funds. Respectfully, I'm asking the council to support renewing my contract. Any questions?
Thank you, Lisa. Any questions, Elisa?
Yes, Ms. Andoja, I do have a question. Thank you for that explanation as well. Can you repeat what you said? This wasn't my initial question, but can you repeat what you said about climate change?
Oh, sure, it would be my absolute pleasure. Resiliency. It is crucial to maintain public safety during extreme weather conditions caused by climate change.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Thank you for repeating that.
And actually, the state is doing a resiliency plan statewide that they're actually going to have to pursue funding.
Okay.
Lisa, just a couple of things I want to reiterate. In 2023, and correct me if I'm wrong with these figures, in 2023, you were able to obtain $3.683 million. Is that
Yes.
accurate?
Yes, President.
Okay. I have another question.
So, Ms. Andoja, my question was that I was asking the town manager about the needs assessment per bullet point number 2, not number 2, but the second bullet point in your scope of services. Can you tell us about that, when the last time one was done? A needs assessment, it says conduct a needs assessment, and develop a plan to identify funding sources to help meet the town's objective.
Needs assessment is based on whatever the community needs are, short or long-term, and they may vary. Right now, the town might have an opportunity to pursue something, a very large property, and if so, there will be opportunity. So the needs assessment could vary from one day to the next.
What is your process for the needs assessment? I mean, I've never met with you or anything, so I'm just wondering how.
If I may, she doesn't do needs assessment. We do it.
It's the scope of services, it says it right
Yeah,
here.
but she works with the town, what the town needs are.
work.
Councilwoman
That's not what it says.
Tapi, what I do is I actually work very, very closely with my clients to identify what their priorities are, and their priorities today may change tomorrow. You could have a public facility that's been hit by lightning. You may have another one that has deferred maintenance. You may have capital improvements. So what my clients do is they actually develop short and long-term community needs. And if you have any in particular, everyone has my email, you have my cell phone number, feel free to share it with me.
Thank you. Yeah, I just know needs assessments are specific things. I know it varies from, I didn't know it was like just conversation, so I was just wanting clarification on that, but thank you.
Absolutely.
Lisa, I have another question. On the July 11th, 2025 spreadsheet that you sent, right now in 2025, in 2024 into 25, it's 2.993 million, correct?
Yes, funding to secure.
Pending is 6.885 million, is that correct?
Yes, those are the congressional earmarks that weren't adopted last year. What we did is resubmitted it.
Okay. Any more discussion?
I do want to confirm that per the purchasing ordinance, we don't need to go out to bid. Is it solicitor?
This is an addendum to the existing.
So because
contract,
it's an
so
extension, we don't need to go out to bid?
Correct, we checked with the purchasing agent.
Okay, so who decides that, it's an extension versus going out to bid? I'm just curious.
Purchasing agent.
The purchasing agent decides? We don't decide that?
We are going to decide whether or not to award the contract. The purchasing agent decided whether, or not, basically decided, and Bob's had conversations with him as to whether or not an RFP was necessary, or whether it's just going to be an extension. Under the existing agreement, you have the ability to cancel at any time.
Sure.
So if the town wanted to go in a different direction, they could, but this is an addendum to the existing.
Yeah, totally understand. I feel like it should be our decision, but I just want to understand the process. I don't have any problems with Rosewood at all. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just.
Just trying to understand.
Yeah, the solicitor and I spoke with Carlos, our purchasing agent, regarding if it was okay to do the extension, and it is okay. But I would suggest at some point, if you want to do an RFP, that could be.
Well, it's got to be after the second year then.
Yeah, but I mean, if that, we'll have a two-year extension now.
Yeah, I was just looking at the ordinance and I was wondering why. I was on the council when we extended it before, 23, so.
Mr. President, if I may. Thank you. Lisa, the grants that you've secured for the residents of Smithfield is beyond impressive. So I think everyone in this town is very, very lucky to have you, and we're very lucky that you are wanting to stay in Smithfield and wanting to extend your contract. And I think I speak for many residents when I say we appreciate all the work that you did. I know people are using the splash pad. I know that the capital improvements wouldn't have been possible without you, so thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the honor to actually work with the town and get some great projects completed.
And with that, I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Item F, consider, discuss, or act upon authorizing the town manager to enter into a contract through Sourcewell Contract 19435 with Turf Products Company in Enfield, Connecticut for the purchase of one new MH400 SH2 broadcast top dresser with the attachments in the amount not to exceed $41,231.99 to be funded from the capital budget.
Thank you, Gina.
Director, how are you?
I'm well, yourself?
Good, thank you.
Congratulations, Director, as well.
For what?
Nomination?
Your award.
Your award.
Oh, thank you.
We'll take care of you at a later date.
That's quite all right, thank
Be
you.
prepared.
Ralph, you'll be attending that one, thank you. It's a team effort, it's not individual, but I appreciate it. And I appreciate my staff actually submitting my name for that. So it's a team effort. Before you now, we have a broadcast spreader. This is something for the park department. It'll allow us to do a lot of this work in-house to maintain our fields and facilities, that we will not have to go out and use private contractors to do that. Eventually, you'll end up reducing our overall operating costs.
Any questions?
Director, you don't happen to know how often we're going out for like external work, do you? It sounds like often, but I wasn't sure.
Historically, I'm not sure. We just took over parks recently. I know that part of our large contract for fertilization includes a lot of this type of work to bring the fields back to playing condition and within specs. So this is just an anticipation of being able to move forward later on and doing this in-house as we need to, as opposed to being subject to a contractor's schedule.
Okay, thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Item G, consider discuss act upon authorizing the town manager to enter into a contract through the Ohio Master Price Agreement number 91 with Ed and Matt Equipment Company of Smithfield, Rhode Island to purchase one new, Yamaha 47 HP tractor with loader and canopy in the amount not to exceed $43,699 to be funded by the capital budget.
Thank you. It's actually a Yanmar, not a Yamaha, but just for clarification. This would replace a 1994 John Deere tractor that doesn't have the lifting capacity to pick up some of the attachments that we have in-house right now. So this new tractor will have a 2,500-pound lifting capacity on the 3-point hitch at the rear. And that's, one of the main reasons that we're looking to do this, to utilize all of the equipment that we happily have.
What is this used for?
So this will be pulling the broadcast spreader that you just approved, the seeder, a lot of the different attachments that they use for, tilling and grading things off and just moving material.
Thank you. Any questions of the director? I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Item H, consider to act upon a bid award a consultant to update the town's needs assessment and development impact fee report and impact fee schedule.
I'll take care of that, Mr. President. The assistant planner wasn't able to attend this evening, but the committee, this is the RFP that you had approved that was sent out. They got the response, the two responses as indicated, and they did choose, Tischelweiss as the company to do the study. So they have provided a motion for you at the end of Carlos's memo.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. I have a second.
So it's going to cost us $53,600 to raise the fees?
I think there's a grant.
No, you went down to the next one. We're not on that one.
Am I on the wrong one?
We're on H.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The next one is I.
I'm talking about Tischler.
Okay, all right. My apologies.
It's cost not to exceed $53,600. So we have to pay money to have a study done. Is that a state law or?
I'm not sure, but I know
Yeah.
we did this before.
Yeah.
I know it's been done before. I didn't deal with it before, but I know it's been done before.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Item I, consider discuss act upon authorizing one live fire training system added from United Rentals in the amount of $53,285 to be funded by FEMA and AFG grant ENW 2022 FG 05429 in co-share payment with Greater Woonsocket Chiefs Mutual Aid Association.
So this particular grant, I was involved in writing back in 2022. Trying to get a vendor that could provide us with this addition to our current live fire training prop was, we had to go through quite a few people to get something that will be within our budget. So this is 100% paid for between the grant and the co-share through the Greater Woonsocket Fire Chiefs Mutual Aid Association. And this particular item is basically an add-on to our existing burn prop that we got funded through a previous AFG grant as well as a grant from the state legislature.
Thank you. Any questions for the chief? Town managers? Chief?
Chief, is this a one-time thing, or is it like something that's every year kind of thing? The live fire, they do
Well,
that
it's
every
an
year,
annex,
right?
so it's a steel structure, and it's going to be connected to our current one. And yeah, it's a one-time, and maintenance is pretty low. They
Thank you.
hold up very well.
I'll entertain a motion. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Item 12, public comment.
Hi, still Rich Anatelli, still 99 Dean Avenue. I just have a question. In the discussion we just had on the schools, mention made of a memo with errors. Can I have a copy of that, please?
Yeah, we can get you a copy of that.
Yeah, and because I want to go over and I want to see what they are and I want to, get to the bottom of it, okay?
And that Rachel was, yeah.
Okay.
We'll
Can I
get
pick it up tomorrow morning?
I'll scan it and email it to you.
Email, that's fine. Either way, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
very much. I want to look into it and see what's going on. Thank you.
Anything else on the public comment?
Yeah. we can go on.
Senator DeCoya. Please stand.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. David Tukoyan, 114 Austin Avenue. I'm here before you in my capacity as your state senator for Smithfield. It's great to be back in the chamber, and thank you for all your hard work on behalf of the residents of the town of Smithfield. I learned a long time ago, it's a good rule of thumb not to get involved in municipal politics when you're in the General Assembly. However, when the council requests certain things of their General Assembly members, I just want you to know that myself, Representative Constantino, and Representative Santucci work extremely well together, and I think we keep the council informed as to the activities in the General Assembly. I'm routinely on the phone with the town manager and you, Mr. President, and when you ask for resolutions, particularly that require an ordinance change, we get those done in a very prompt and efficient manner. Now, I certainly don't have millions of dollars to award you in grants, but I think it's worth noting that this year the town received close to $30,000, just under $30,000 in legislative grants, and over the past 3 years, just under $90,000. Some of those agencies, and that's in collaboration with your directors of the departments and members of nonprofits. I don't, they have to request this money. I just am the pipeline, if you will, to secure it, but it's the department directors that request it, so kudos to them. And they include the East Smithfield Public Library, the Greenville Public Library, the Smithfield Fire Department, the Smithfield Senior Center, the Department of Human Services, the Smithfield Ice Rink, youth soccer, basketball, softball, Little League hockey, the Smithfield High School Parent Council, Athletic Booster Club, and our favorite all-lit-up Christmas parade. Now, I have 2 remaining checks here, and one is for the Smithfield Recreation Department and the East Smithfield Neighborhood Center, and with your approval, I'd like to give them to Bobby Kane, who did the work to request these changes. So thank you, Bobby.
You may.
Again, thank you.
Senator, we'd like to take a picture with you and Mr. Kane and the council, but unfortunately today, we don't have any money to give you, like a stipend. But we'll just take a picture.
And thank you. You just reminded me of something. I know I try to keep you abreast of particularly state aid to cities and towns, and I know I did with the school department state aid, and I did speak to Gene Allen, Director Allen, this evening. Today, there was a press announcement, and Smithfield's going to receive just under $200,000 for municipal road paving from the state. So hopefully that'll offset some of the costs for the state.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you for your hard work. We're going to take a picture. Sure. You guys want to go now?
Yeah, sure.
Anyone else on the public comment?
While Senator Taquayan is still here, I'd just like to mention that I had proposed that he submit a bill to try and lessen some of the terrible consequences of the state laws with these comprehensive permit projects, which are just devastate our town. We have about 1,100 units in the application process to try to give cities and towns that haven't met their 10% affordable goal some alternatives, some reasonable alternatives. And Senator Taquayan did a fantastic job in actually not only getting it through the committee, but also it actually passed the Senate. Of course, it was stopped in the House, but I think that's a great accomplishment, and I think it's an example of a good example of both parties working together, as the senator indicated. Not only the state reps are all working together from Smithfield, but also and senator, but also the town council. We all have the same goal here, which is to try and mitigate some of the effects from these large developments. So thank you very much, Senator. I really appreciate it. Great.
Any other public comment? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye, nays, ayes.